ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Mortanius, and we are back with some more Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition on the Xbox Series X. Time of recording is 7 p.m. Saturday, June 21st, 2025. And when we last left off, we had got ourselves a fantastic introduction to Sarkesh children, the Solarian homeworld. Got to take ourselves a nice tour of the waterfalls, bear witness to the architecture that the Solarians tout so much throughout the galaxy, seeing as how they tend to build with their landscape instead of through it or beyond it. Got to bear witness to the fantastic foliage, the flora and fauna. May even want to take my future kids there. AK. But that was all one particular fantasy, because in the end we ended up having to do a bit of work for the group. And come to find out, members of the Solarian Special Task Group, the STG, had managed to find survivors from Malin's research lab from Mass Effect 2. The Solarian who was taught by Mordin Solus, one of our other allies and a member of our team in the last game. Managed to save them. Just try to stabilize them, but only managed to save one out of four. Actually, I think it was three. So, needless to say, we had to get her out, but come to find out, Cerberus had ideas along the same line, or something. We're not entirely sure. Managed to stop them, we managed to free her, and now we're just rooting around the ship at this point, starting to see what else has changed. So if you folks like what you see and want to see more of me as we progress onward, just give me a like, follow, subscribe here on YouTube both. Drop a comment, check out some of the other playlists, share around some of the other playlists, bang the bell. Follow the links to my Twitch to get to my Discord and YouTube. Follow links to my YouTube to get to my Twitch. And wherever you folks happen to be, have yourselves a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, and get comfortable. Let's get into this. Picked up some new war assets, as you can see. Terminus fleet has been finished when it comes to the update. Blood Pack we already read. This private security group is careful to maintain its image as a professional mercenary force. In reality, the Blue Suns have drifted further and further into becoming a full-blown crime syndicate. Despite this, their ruthless tactics are sought after in the Terminus systems. Of course, it's the Terminus systems. The Eclipse Corporation specializes in smart security solutions, developing tactics around surgical strikes, sabotage, and electronic warfare. These mercenaries are supported by a sizable army of combat mechs and rely heavily on tech for support combat. So, yeah, we dealt with a nice chunk of that in the last game from all three groups. Rogue fighter pilots. This was from Steve Cortez going to the memorial and having gotten in contact with some pilots from his old days. When humanity began to expand its borders, experienced pilots were needed to establish colonies in the uncharted reaches of space. Some Alliance personnel heeded the call, and these luckless men and women have since been driven out of their colonies by the invading Reapers. After speaking with Lieutenant Steve Cortez, a few of these highly skilled fighter pilots agreed to fly against the enemies who destroyed their homes. Good. So long as they're not throwing themselves into it for no reason. Solarians. The Solarians bring cutting-edge warships and their best tactical minds to fight against the Reapers. Major Kirrahe. Major Kirrahe made his mark leading the Solarian Special Task Group that helped Commander Shepard stop Saren at Vermire. Lauded by his superiors for his decisive leadership under fire, Kirrahe was promoted and decorated with the prestigious Star of Sarkesh. The Major continues to join missions with his men, believing that nothing substitutes for experience, and that the best tactical strategies are planned on the battlefield. It's true, at least to an extent. A commander still has to oversee in multiple battlefields. A general has to oversee multiple battlefields. But the best strategies are the ones where you can actually see what's happening live. Who is and isn't dying, what's actively going on in front of you. Both have their uses. Turian. The threat of Turian firepower once kept entire armies in check. Now the hierarchy's vast fleet and numerous soldiers are needed to win the largest war in galactic history. Turian 79th Flotilla. The Turian 79th Flotilla distinguished itself during the Krogan rebellions when they clashed with Krogan warships above Digeris. The 79th sacrificed themselves in great numbers to bring down Krogan vessels attacking the colony. Centuries later, the flotilla continues to rely on speed and stealth to harass the enemy. They run interference, divert fire, and make bombing runs on enemy ground units until anti-air defenses manage to target them. Or anti-air defenses. There's no break between it. It's just weird. Now, what was this problem you had that you and Rex both couldn't talk to each other, to me, in each other's presence, despite the fact that, lo and behold, both still being in the room?
Commander.
You said one of your ships had gone missing?
Crashed, actually. I couldn't speak in front of the Krogan. Our ship went down on Tuchanka. Now they're pinned by an advanced guard of Reapers scouting the planet.
What are your men doing there?
I'm sorry. That's classified. But it's vital they be rescued. They must complete their original mission. It's a matter of galactic peace.
I'll do what I can.
I appreciate your help and understanding.
So that means whatever they're doing is not to start a war while another war is already going on.
How are things on Palaven?
The casualty reports are staggering. The Reapers are using our own tactics against...
I've seen the same on Earth.
I wasn't
My
sure if he was going to change
civilization.
the information.
The Krogan will make sure that doesn't happen.
Assuming you're successful with the cure.
We will be.
You have to be, Commander. I don't want to go down as history's last Primarch.
Well, at least that was different. At least I think so.
Your men that crashed on Tuchanka. How many are there?
A platoon.
You said their mission was a matter of galactic peace. Why?
I'm sorry, Commander. As I said, it's highly classified.
Look, if you want me to put my ass on the line, I need answers.
I can't tell you. Please understand. The commander is Lieutenant Tarquin Victus. He'll be your contact.
Victus.
My son. I needed someone I could trust completely.
Even more so reinforcing my point. Oh, all right. Let's see.
The Solarian Dalatrast was worried about what the Krogan will do once they're cured. How do you feel?
It
Sensibly.
won't matter if we don't stop the Reapers, but I understand her doubts. The moon you found me on? That's where we made our last stand against the Krogan during the rebellions. They were that relentless.
Says a lot.
How did it turn out?
The Krogan started using asteroids as weapons, directing them against our colonies. We had no choice. The Genophage was our last resort. So yes, Krogan intentions after this war will be a serious concern, but I'd rather have a grateful ally than a resentful enemy.
Granted.
Reaching out to the Krogan for help must be difficult for you. We can't allow the mistakes of our past to cloud the future. Your race and mine were once enemies. The first contact war, as you call it. I was there, dodging shells fired by your navy. But look at us now, standing in a ship of Turian human design, working together.
As true as we do need to move beyond our past may be, we can't ignore those pasts either. They did shape us in their own ways, and they do continue to shape the galaxy as well. The past always matters. Don't be stuck there, but the past always matters.
How did it turn out?
The Krogan started... We had no... So yes.
That was weird.
Krogan intentions after this war will be as serious.
That's all.
Of course, Commander.
Alright. Alright, Rex, what's the problem?
Hell of a show down there on Surkesh. Just like the old days, Shepard. Right down to me pulling your ass out of the fire.
I was the one with bullets flying at me.
And I gave you the moral support to dodge them.
You said one of your squads is missing?
They were scouting out the Rachni relay. We've heard rumors of trouble in the area.
Rachni?
Thought that might get your attention. I have a favor to ask. It's big.
Don't tell me they're back.
All I know for sure is our scouts went silent as soon as they arrived. I've got Aralak Company, my best unit, on standby. You give the word, and I'll meet you there.
I'll see what I can do.
Get on it, Shepard.
Weird. I can partly see why the Turians would keep that to themselves, but why would you keep this to yourself? People don't know that the need to know that the Rachni are running around? Or at least the ones on the ship don't need to know? Alright, Rex. Right now, we'll just chalk that up to you, wanting to hit the Turian back.
What will you do after the genophage is cured?
Once we deal with the Reapers, most Krogan will want to settle a score with the Turians and Solarians. I won't let them. That isn't our path forward. This time will be different.
He's right. It's not their path forward. It'll be the same old thing. And there still won't be the numbers. And in the end, yeah, the genophage will be cured, but that takes time to produce strong Krogan, useful Krogan. And that implies the galaxy gives you time.
A lot of people will be relieved to hear that. No one wants to repeat history.
They know we'd probably win this time. But war has never brought us anything except misery. It's time to focus on rebuilding.
What's the situation back on Tuchanka?
I'm still getting scattered reports of Reaper forces arriving. Something big is brewing. I won't let those things take Tuchanka. Not when we're about to cure the genophage. My people have had enough bad luck in our time.
Indeed.
Back on Surkesh, it looked like the female Krogan could hold her own.
Our females don't lack for spirit. For males, a good show of force sorts things out. But females
Understandable.
talk about it. Then think about it. Then talk about it some more.
Women have good ideas, Rex. You should listen.
Yeah, but they have so many of them. So sometimes I pretend to listen and... Well, let's just say Krogan females have tempers too.
We all go through that. And then we come out the other side and have to hear, did I ask you for that? Why you listen to me? I didn't really want that. People in hell want ice water. That don't mean they're gonna get it. They do tend to have useful perspectives, but how can I put this? Most of the time their perspectives isn't based in dealing with the same issues. Our perspective kind of can aid their perspectives, just because usually some of the issues they deal with, we have to solve, let's just say. If they're dealing with a crazy dude, odds are they're going to call another dude, is what I mean.
Back on Surkesh, it looked like the female Krogan could hold her own.
Our females don't. So sometimes I pretend to...
How could there be trouble with the Rachni? They were all but extinct. The last queen promised to disappear forever or be destroyed.
I know, I was there. I've got a bad feeling about this. It may not be Rachni, but maybe it is. Could be another invasion. If they're crawling out from under some rock, you know how bad it could get. We need to stop them.
Don't really know how long the Rachni were on Noveria, but they couldn't have been there long, and their numbers were insane. When we left that room and where we initiated the neutron purge, if you look at the map, there were dozens of dots stacked on top of each other and around each other. Those were obviously meant to be small Rachni mostly, but the point is that they're all Rachni. And eventually they ain't gonna be so small. And moreover, they're bugs bugs have quick growth periods, at least from what I've seen.
That's it for now, Rex. Let's get back to work.
Anytime. And Shepard, I like what you've done with the Normandy. Got tired of always hanging around the cargo bay before. I still don't have a window like Liara does, but it's progress. Wish I could knock some heads around with you, but duty calls. If the Solarian says my DNA's important, who am I to argue?
All right. Sometimes a good conversation is necessary, but sometimes conversing is not enough. It's unfortunate, but sometimes the occasional person needs a smack in the mouth.
You'd think the Solarians would have a base on their homeworld secured better.
Nah, they were solid. Cerberus has Reaper tech. Compared to those upgrades, the Solarians might as well have been throwing rocks.
Quite literally, there it is. Solarians are solid. Intel is what they do, and they got snuck. Intel is what they do, and they got snuck. They could only have come from either a more advanced enemy or a not so advanced enemy. They were so primitive you couldn't see them coming. And we know that ain't the case, not with Cerberus.
Commander, we've got new reports of Cerberus activity on Tuchanka. I've marked it on the galaxy map.
Interesting.
Commander, nice to see you again.
How are you settling in, Trainer?
I actually feel somewhat useful. It's been challenging to integrate data feeds for the War Summit.
How are the systems holding?
Well, I'm glad we performed stress tests.
Specialist Trainer has been extremely helpful. The accuracy of our war room data is a direct result of her work.
That's what's up.
Thank you, Edie. I'm still getting used to all of this. In the lab, we'd hoard everything, piles of tech everywhere. Out here, it's like living out of a shoebox.
Welcome to being MacGyver.
And this is just with a skeleton crew. You should see this ship when it's fully staffed.
Oh, no, Commander. I'm not complaining. This is wonderful. Back in the lab, we had to hoard because we had no budget. Now, Edie, Ariake Tech uses a proprietary smart processing algorithm that could clean up our long-range data. Can we license it?
We can, analyzing and applying the upgrade now. The algorithm should reduce long-range strategic combat data analysis time by 3%.
Yes, sir.
Impressive.
If it means getting the equipment I need, I can quite happily live out of a shoebox.
3% is small, but it's 3%. And then it becomes 3% of what? 3% of 10 or 3% of 10 million? A&N. Indoctrination. Thessia, a Asari scientist, Ronatha Noctis, has died in custody, allegedly committing suicide after she was arrested for the murder of multiple Asari military officials. We do remember her. In case you folks are confused, I'll explain who she is in a bit. Prior to her death, investigators said the Noctis spoke of voices in her head, which they believed to be indicative of her indoctrination. The voices foretold the ascension of the Asari and told the Noctis that anyone fighting the Reapers needed to die. The Noctis worked on a top-secret project for former Spectre Saren Arturius several years ago, where she likely became indoctrinated. She received a pardon from the Asari government in exchange for providing research assistance on Reaper technology. The Noctis was believed responsible for planting a makeshift explosive that detonated at a research center, killing 5 visiting Asari military officials along with 4 civilians. The attack seriously wounded a dozen more and caused significant damage to the facility. Investigators say they are not seeking any more suspects in the case. Odds are there aren't any more suspects. Suspects unless she brought more in and were exposing them to Reaper tech. She was the one in the first game who was researching indoctrination. Who she spoke that her first patient was her predecessor. She took the person the job, the person whose job she took was the first person she experimented on for indoctrination. She was hoping she was safe. Apparently she wasn't, which makes perfect sense. If memory serves, individuals and technology that is infected by Reaper indoctrination propagate the signal. So her predecessor probably Like, she might have been fine, but being around her predecessor probably just infected her with it real hard. And if that didn't, being around Sovereign did. She was what, like like what, 70 feet from him, and Sovereign was 2 kilometers. There's no way that field is only 70 feet, or something like that. Could have killed her in the first 2 games. I don't know what happens if you do. I never did. I don't think it don't matter. I mean, obviously you have dead people here, but her helping decipher this Reaper technology may have unfortunately been more helpful than the lives she took and the damage she did. Holding the line from Major Kirihi. Commander, it was a pleasure seeing you again on Sarkesh, even if the circumstances were less than ideal. It seems that fate has decided our meeting coincide with galactic threats. So be it. To that end, I want to... The need arises, regardless of the political climate. You were there for us in our hour of need. We look forward to returning the favor. Best of luck, Major Kiri here. 3rd Infiltration Regiment, Special Task Group. Info for you. Hey, Shepard, it's been a while. I'm glad to hear you made it off Earth and that Liara's with you. Getting off her old ship was the best thing we could have done. Can tell you how sick I was of that cabin, and of tripping over that drone. I don't even know how it kept finding me in a ship that big, even after I turned off its tracking. They're called cameras, homeboy. I dug up some interesting information for you. Talk with Glyph to sort out the data. I hope it helps, Shepard. It's getting rough out there. Farron. Thanks there, dude. Sometimes your crew and teammates will actually roam. So, like for instance, Dr. Chakwas is in here.
Can't imagine anything so traumatic. You sure you're okay, Karen?
I wouldn't wish a collector abduction on my worst enemy. But it's behind me now. I'm fine. But it makes me think of Earth and all the other Reaper-occupied worlds. What are the Reapers doing to the people who live on all those worlds? As we sit here, enjoying our coffee. How many souls are in agony this very moment? Millions? Billions? Go, Greg. I lied. I'm not fine.
If you were fine, something would be wrong with you, Doc.
Hello, Commander.
Hey, Chief.
Everything okay in the medbay?
Yes, Mordin would just like some space to work with Eve.
He kicked you out?
Oh no, I just felt I was getting in his way. I'll return when I'm needed.
I can respect that. This ain't really your field. Figured you give him the room. I can respect it.
So, Liara, still relying on the Protheans for all the answers?
It will work, Rex. We just need to finish building the Crucible. Although I'd be interested to learn how you found out about it.
Wasn't that hard. Lucky you keep its location more secret than the fact it exists.
And I'm sure you'll do a good job of both, being so famous for your discretion.
My lips are sealed.
Advanced biotic implants. This advanced imp is a sophisticated biofeedback system that interfaces with a set of armor microcomputers. The amp can be set to help streamline the use of biotic skills and combat powers or increase their damage. Went for power recharge speed last time. Let's go for damage. Email from Professor Takisha to Dr. O'Doul. I was calling every supply station, every supply depot station around the Crucible to find enough pure platinum for the Crucible's primary trigger inlay. We barely had enough left to coat a coffee maker. An hour later, a ship pulled up with 16 tons of platinum, courtesy of the Shadow Broker. Then it flew away to scavenge more materials for the project. The ship's captain emailed me later saying the broker would stay in touch with our needs. That's great, but I'm checking my computer for bugs. That would be the logical assumption. Yeah. Prothean Notes 2186, Entry 3. Right. If what Javik says is true, his people were imperialists who left the rest of the galaxy quaking in terror. And I think he would sacrifice all of us without a thought if he could bring them all back. I reviewed my old notes today. They're so childish. Did we romanticize the Protheans because we were dazzled by the technology they left behind? Are these really the people I dedicated my life to studying? A people to dedicate your life to studying them. History is history, dear. Now, that top half, I have no reason to disagree with, to be honest. He has no connections to any of us. And even if he did, I don't know if that would matter. I wouldn't necessarily call your old notes childish. Ignorant, sure, but not childish. You were hopeful. Nothing wrong with being hopeful, just don't lose yourself in that hope. That is when you become childish. Now, if you did lose yourself, then yeah, you were childish.
Perhaps we can talk later.
If not, then you're just fine, Liara. Sounds like a person to me. Man or woman.
Shepard, they say female Krogan have a thing for guys with scars.
So I've heard.
I've got a few, myself. Here's hoping nobody's planning an arranged marriage to cement this deal. Though I have to say, I admire Eve. The things she must have endured living with the Genophage. And now, to top it all off, she's her people's last hope. Imagine the pressure. Takes real courage to face that. I hope we can measure up.
Well, it's truly hard to say. And if it's hard to say if she's actually facing this or looking for the nearest opportunity to run. If she is, then yeah, I can admire it. If not, well, I can't exactly blame her for wanting to dip out considering the galaxy's at stake, but you get no points from me.
I guess we're at war with Cerberus now, huh?
Yep.
I've never actually seen a female Krogan. Seems like they're the real brains on Tuchanka.
Yeah, that may be the case for this species. It's hard to say.
Good to see Morden's still alive and kicking, and still finding new ways to cause trouble.
Yeah. It's crazy. Will never end.
Another time, maybe.
Remember, Sir's last game, he said he's in his mid-30s. I think he said like 34, 35, 36. He has a nephew who got tenure at 16 that he mentioned. Since Solarius aged very quickly, he was basically a young adult, basically. But yeah, he's probably just, other than helping the way he was on Omega, probably getting particularly philanthropic in his old age.
Aware Krogan females find scars attractive. Garrus Loyal, reasonably intelligent, bit aggressive, almost like Krogan.
For the third time, Doctor, I'm not interested.
Ah, Shepard, we were just...
Are you okay?
I'm fine, Rex. You can relax.
Can't be too careful, or put any faith in Solarian doctors.
This one is different.
Is he? What's that?
Simple blood test.
What kind?
Kind that ends the genophage. Shepard, please. Distraction's counterproductive, also affecting comfort of patient.
That's real talk. I get it, Rex. 100%. She might be your last species' last shot. I get it. Protective mode, activate 100%. Calm it down. That is not helping here at all. She knows you're here. We know you're here. We also know that you're antsy and want to do something. We've already established that in the comms room. We also know you're Krogan, so you're antsy and want to do something. We already established that in the first game. We've got this. Calm it down.
He was your inside source, Rex. You can trust him.
Solarians have minds like a maze. You never know when they're leading you into a trap.
trap. Eve's release my doing. Would never have known about her if not for me.
That was then. But she's out now. And if she gets hurt, I'll feel it.
Understand, but my patient, my responsibility. Her welfare a priority. Will not allow her to be compromised by anyone.
You got a quad, Doctor. Keep her safe. Our females have endured enough.
Don't forget, still need your tissue sample.
I'll be back.
Common phobia. Fear of needles.
Or Solarian doctors.
Now have work to do. Prefer females of the species.
Yeah, I can understand why. But again,
Maybe with an
you're less likely to potentially get hit.
Entire catalyzing process would fail. Severe neurological damage. Never mind.
What are you talking about?
Method to extract functional cure without killing you. Many variables. Your immune system compromised. Considering options.
And you have to do it out loud?
Yes. Auditory learner. Need to hear self think, simulate conversation to promote new ideas, maximize productivity.
But you're talking about me dying.
Oh, apologies. Medical details causing emotional distress. I hadn't considered effect on patient.
No, it just means I can't sleep.
Doing my best to keep you alive. Will avoid sensitive subjects.
Seems Shepard might have better hearing in his left ear. Because I had to switch constantly where my left one was being heard specifically. That whole that was then and this is now, that is a poor argument. Oh, she's out now, okay. You realize she was under lock and key and poisonable, suffocatable, drownable. A lot of water on Surkesh. It's just like, what do you even mean? That was then and this is now. Yeah, this is now. She's surrounded by more people who want to help, including you. So what's up? Again, I get it. He's just being overly defensive. His species is quite close to dying out. He understands this. We understand this over the course of the first 3 games. Whatever books and stories we read, Krogan are dropping like flies. Point remains, you're not helping. Not like that.
Shepard, blood work complete. Indicates significant stress on Eve's system. Malin's data thorough. Fortunately detailed as well. Have used notes to improve her condition.
Hadn't fallen as far as he seemed to in the initial scrutiny of the data, huh?
Have you determined why she's immune?
Genophage targeted hormone production during pregnancy. Modification project used same modality. Her immunity totally different. Targeted glands now obsolete, like human appendix. Other glands mutated to produce proper hormones, enable viable birth. Also explains her weakness. Gland substitution imperfect. Health trouble.
I was gonna say it would have to be imperfect. She's having to use her glands. Her system is having to use other systems that have other functions to make up for what she lost. Makes me wonder if that weakness is long term for all Krogan, if we manage to cure this. Or if this weakness is long term just for her, since she's the source right now.
You think you can make this work for all Krogan?
Yes. We'll use Eve's tissue to produce mutagen, alter gland function across entire species. Must improve mutagen as well, tune hormone production. Long-term illness for all Krogan otherwise.
That answers that. He's going to have to alter their glands to all function like that. So to an extent, they may all be permanently weaker, but they'll at least be fertile.
So, we did the right thing by saving the data?
Indeed. Would be much harder to treat Eve without it. Maybe impossible.
And all those experiments we saw back on Tuchanka?
Monstrous, repulsive, but now with purpose. Victims didn't die for nothing.
There we go. That's the logic I like. It's not you saying that you like the medicine. It's not you saying that you like what happened, but it happened. And it can't be forgotten, and it can't be hidden, and it cannot be deleted just because you feel a certain way. History is history, regardless of whether you like it or not. Nobody's okay with this. But it's here, it's necessary, we can make use of it, or we can throw it in the dark, and then we can just try and muddy our way through the situation. Thing is, the situation's already been muddied through. It's unfortunate, but there it is.
So the end justifies the means?
Not my means.
But you're using the data, encouraging more experiments like Malin's.
Nope.
Encouragement irrelevant. Will always be scientists willing to perform unethical tests. Can't change that.
Yep.
But can help Eve. Can cure genophage. Won't ignore data vital to her survival because of unethical origins.
Fruit from the poisonous tree in this instance is still useful fruit, unfortunately. The ends don't justify the means. They weren't his means, but again, it happened. What do you do with it? Encouragement does matter, but there's always going to be people who cross lines like that. That's just the way that is, unfortunately.
Any word on Malin himself?
No. Ordered teams to search for him when trying to help Eve. Nothing so far. Large galaxy. Lots of places to hide. Could already be dead for all we know. Would kill him now if possible. Unless he could help.
Huh. So you regret letting him go.
So, we did the right thing by saving the...
Indeed. Would be monstrous, repulsive, but...
How is she doing?
No fever currently. Heart rate elevated, likely stress. Eating appropriately.
Yep.
Could use another blanket, something soft. Prefer to let her recover fully before synthesizing cure. My medical recommendation.
My people don't have time for that.
Her opinion, somewhat different.
I'm not a medical professional, but how about we let you recover before we decide to take a chunk out of your existence to solve a problem for everybody else?
You care about her.
My patient, my responsibility. Found her at STG base. 3 doctors injured trying to restrain her. Undid arm restraints. Didn't resist when she grabbed me. Promised to help her. She said, please.
You've always defended your genophage work. What changed your mind?
Never change mind. Genophage proper decision at time. New circumstances necessitate course correction.
Those circumstances being?
Reaper invasion. Turians doomed without Krogan support. Krogan need unified threat. Outlet for aggression. Cooperative symbiosis.
In this instance, it works to an extent. It's unfortunate, but sometimes you have to speak to people on their level.
Nothing else? No personal stake here?
Getting old, Shepard. Not many years left, but still best candidate for project. Few Solarian scientists interested in genophage. None with my expertise. Had to be me.
Someone else might have gotten it wrong?
Possibly. Stakes too high for inexperience. But not about them. My work. My job to put it right. To prove I can.
I can agree with that. Wholeheartedly. So yeah, you do feel attached to this, whether you should or shouldn't be. And you do feel responsible to actually make sure that these things go right, since you did have a hand in them. I wonder what the genophage adaptation the Krogans were gaining was. Like, were they just becoming immune, but their own systems were still, like the glands and the organs were still functioning? They were regaining functionality? Or were they actually already in the process of switching over the way that hers are already switched over right now? Biggest questions. Sorry about that. Bump the mic.
Nice talking with you, Mordin.
Thank you, Shepard. Glad to be back.
You planning to stick around when this is over?
Until Reaper's dealt with, at least. Then, not sure. Have made impact on Galaxy. Genophage modification, genophage cure, work against collectors, decisions, mistakes. Might go somewhere sunny, sit on beach, look at ocean, collect seashells.
You'd go crazy inside an hour.
Might run tests on the seashells.
There it is.
Thank you for saving my life, Commander. I didn't think the Krogan had any allies left in the galaxy.
We owe a lot to you, even if most people have forgotten that.
They can be forgiven. Our actions have hardly inspired friendship.
Part of being friends is knowing each other's name. I feel bad that I don't know yours.
I surrendered it the day I became a shaman of the female clan. I belong to my sisters now. But perhaps one day, when this is over, you can know it.
It's funny. I don't know about that forgotten. People have forgotten? I doubt they've forgotten. They probably put it into perspective. Yeah, you saved the galaxy only to be the thing that the galaxy needed to be saved from. The Krogan didn't help themselves with that. They really didn't. The genophage was much, but at the same time, me personally, I've never really gotten into bioweapons. Hard to say how long they last, what they'll do, and then with this species living as long as it does, the genophage just spreads, it just gets worse. Their whole species. But then again, you listen to Victus, and it's like they pushed us back to our moon in our own home system of our home planet. That was all we had left. They had took everything, and who knows what else they had took from the rest of the galaxy. What's wild to me is that they were actually able to use the genophage. How did they spread it so quickly to the point that it devastated Krogan numbers? Even active Krogan numbers. Right? Like, what, did the Krogan end up sterilized and they were immorally defeated? Not physically? It is interesting. I mean, not morally, emotionally defeated. Like, was it just too much for the psyche to accept? They really went that far? You really did it. Damn you.
I didn't realize the Krogan had female shamans.
Wisdom comes from pain, and the genophage has made us very wise.
Yeah.
Rather than surrender to despair, a few of us chose to preserve the ancient ways. We safeguard our culture, our knowledge, our secrets. So when our children live again, the Krogan will flourish.
I can respect that. It's something we're actually concerned about, losing large swaths of our history to time and to greed. And then you have these people roaming around Earth destroying a lot of these sites, and it's like, man, what history are we gonna have if y'all keep this up, you limey bastards?
How were you initiated?
You're locked in a cave for 7 days with just enough food to last. On the 8th, you'll starve.
What does that prove?
Your resolve. Every acolyte is given a chance. You either claw your way out through the rock with your bare hands, or you die.
Interesting. 7 days with just enough food to last. They must have it. Yeah, of course they have high metabolisms. They have extreme healing factors. And then they have extra organs, primary, secondary, and tertiary organs. Of course they have high metabolism, blood rage, and then all of that. 7 days with just enough food to last. Their humps their humps can hold extra nutrients for more food. But then that means that whatever's in their humps is not enough either. That's pretty crazy considering their species versus ours. Humanity can live 3 weeks without food. It ain't something we want to be doing, but...
How did you make it out alive?
I started digging the wrong way. I was in complete darkness. Nothing other than my own heartbeat to sustain me.
What happened?
I found this. A simple crystal, but it became my chisel. Take it as a reminder, Commander. In the darkest hour, there is always a way out.
I can respect that.
That's a brutal initiation.
But an illuminating one. You learn to appreciate the light by living in the dark.
Yep. And that's usually how that goes.
What do you think of Rex?
When he's not trying to sire half of Tuchanka, he's the best thing that's happened to the Krogan. But I won't tell him that. His head's big enough already. Literally.
He's turned into a strong leader.
I know in his heart Rex wants what's best for us. Though not all the other clans see it that way.
Can't tell him the reality because you believe it would make him too arrogant. Sad. Because odds are it's not true. The amount of people I have heard, especially in this year alone, humble that person. Not because they need to be humbled, but because I want to humble them. I just feel like this ties to the same thing. As much as she says is to make sure he doesn't get a big head, I feel like it ties into the exact same thing.
Why would the other clans give Rex trouble? You'd think they'd want a better future.
It's not in the nature of our males to cooperate. They've evolved to be selfish. Their only concern is survival. Rex is different. He's a mutant. And that you can tell him.
Uh-huh.
Do you think Rex will want revenge for the Genophage?
Some clans will expect it, but I hope Rex resists. He understands the cycle of violence must end if Krogan are ever to have a voice in galactic politics. Still, he's just one Krogan. If enough clans demand it, he may not be able to stop them.
Thanks for talking to me.
It's my pleasure, Commander. I've only
I
met
was
a
not
few
done.
humans in my time. I'm glad for the opportunity. Still, he's just one Rex is different. He's a mutant.
If you don't mind me asking, what's it been like living with the Genophage?
I knew sisters who couldn't bear the shame of being infertile. They would wander off into the wastelands, hoping a Thresher Maw would kill them and end their torment.
Did the thought ever cross your mind?
Yes. After my first stillborn.
That is interesting. Why would you feel shame at being infertile? Did you choose infertility? I never could get this kind of thing. Why? Because, like, setting aside Mass Effect, human women do it too. Why are you ashamed to be Did you do it to yourself? Did you put yourself in a position where that ended up being the case? Were you stupid? If not, what are you ashamed of? It happens. It's not your fault. It doesn't make sense to me.
What kept you from ending your own life?
When my child didn't draw breath, that's when my life truly began. The Genophage forces us to live on hope alone. There is nothing else. There is no reason to exist other than the hope that the next day will bring change. And if it doesn't, there is always the next.
Same logic I carry. That's why I said earlier, too much hope can be a bad thing, but hope in and of itself is not a problem.
How do you think things will change after the Genophage is cured?
Our species will find its balance again. Females will help shape the future, like in the ancient days, before we were just pawns of power-hungry males.
Most seem hell-bent on shooting anything that looks at them wrong.
What else is there for them to do? Because of the Genophage, they become wandering killers, seeking targets to justify their existence, excuses to earn them honor.
Okay. Well, as you said, what else is there to do? It's unfortunate, but they don't really have the time like that. They have a long lifespan, but not really the time like that. And then they have to somehow give y'all reasons to keep pushing as well. And odds are, y'all ain't gonna want to hear that. Especially if y'all are the ones who were primarily leading your species. It is interesting. She says before they were pawns of power-hungry males. I wonder what she means by that. Like, was that before the Genophage? Was that after the Genophage? After the Genophage, it partly makes sense. I don't know about before, right? If there are fewer of you that are fertile, it stands to reason people are going to be fighting over you. It stands to reason you kind of need to be kept safe. It stands to reason there's going to be a lot of politics around that, regardless of power hungry or not. So it's hard to say with that one. I don't speak of justifications, merely clarifications and a lack of information.
How has Mordin been treating you?
Better than Krogan males do. He's not like a typical Solarian.
No. Organ redundancy results in new period before metaphase. Can't alter that. Damage to telomeres, premature aging.
He does that.
But I sense pain in him too. He told me about his work on the Genophage. I should consider him an enemy. Yet I think seeing my sisters and I changed something in him.
Sorry, Borgia, offspring have an allergy to dairy and...
Well, it wasn't his ear.
That's another statement. Better than the males. Like, what does she mean by that? This whole species dynamic is backward and unusual.
How did you get involved in Malin's experiments?
The other females and I volunteered. We heard Malin was trying to cure the genophage for Clan Weirlock.
Aren't they a rival clan?
Rivalries are the invention of the males. Under their rule, Tuchanka has laid in ruins for over 1,000 years. It's time females took back our place in society and resurrected our future. Malin was our best hope.
I have a feeling it ain't that simple, but it may be.
Would you go to Malin again?
Absolutely. It only takes one candle to light a fire, and then the darkness is no more.
See, that's another one of those problems. She said the rivalries were an invention of the males. And to an extent, she may be right, but then you get into the concept of, well, they're willing to help. Are they? And then what are they willing to exchange for such said help? A lot of people do not want to look at stuff like that because it don't really matter so long as I get what I want. I don't care about the other outcomes. Or as a lot of people say nowadays, my kids can cry in a Rolls Royce.
I'm sorry none of the other females survived.
Yeah.
I know. The youngest one, Kern, was the last to go. But she knew she would enter the void free of this curse, and then smile when she looked down upon the children of Tuchanka. Her spirit will be the midwife to my firstborn.
Now I can respect that.
I found Malin's lab. It looked like a dungeon. His experiments were brutal.
We learned that too late. He meant well, but his methods grew more barbaric as he went. We finally escaped into the rubble. Eventually, a Solarian team found us. They saved our lives. We were so sick.
Malin started to get desperate. Probably wasn't sleeping much either. He started to get real desperate. Why? What made him impatient? And that's something Morton was talking about too, that he had fallen quite far because his methods had started to get real brutal. And that a lot of the data he did gather had a lot of holes where there shouldn't have been.
Thanks for talking to me.
It's my pleasure, Commander.
All right. 53 minutes of conversations, and there's still something on the lower decks, I think. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Why are you so interested in my people, Asari?
Protheans are always an enigma, a mystery to solve. I wanted to know what happened to your civilization. Why did such an enlightened race disappear?
Enlightened?
Well, it seemed that way.
And now that I am here,
I wonder what it's like waking up 50,000 years later to a new galaxy.
I believe this cycle cares too much about what other species think. Krogan, Turian, Solarian, all were primitives in my time. What good does their help do now?
We can't win this war on our own.
Then demand their help. Do not indulge their selfish requests. What will saving one Krogan matter?
If only it were that simple.
If they get in your way, destroy them.
Excuse me?
I apologize. The previous occupant of this room left traces of himself. I have absorbed some of them.
Yes, Grunt. He was a strong one. Maybe it's best if I let you recover.
That would be best.
If that were deep influence from their own abilities, it reinforces why Shepard is able to actually understand Prothean the way he is. Deep influences. Grunt is leaving traces on him. Yeah, some of his idea matters to an extent. Most of it is just a little much. It literally becomes the same old methods you use. Force and attrition, force and attrition. and you paid for them.
Did I mention Solarians used to lick their eyes? How far they have come. The morning Solarian asked if he could dissect me. I approved, but only if he could defeat me in combat first. His reply was problematic. Then he left. I do not understand that one.
He don't want smoke. He understands. I don't do CQC. I do kiss, kiss, bang, bang.
This Cerberus. I do not understand why your own kind would oppose you. They will bleed the same as everyone if the Reapers are not stopped.
The desire so far, at least from what he said, is to control them. And I can understand it from the visual and tactical standpoint. I mean, look at what the Reapers are doing. They have the entire galaxy mending relationships and ending rivalries and grudges that have gone on for 1,000+ years just to not die. There's a lot of capability in these things. To ignore that is folly. Otherwise, we wouldn't be wasting our time trying to stop them in the first place. He's just a fool. There's certain things you don't bother with.
The Rex Krogan offered me a job. He said whenever I tired of the easy life of luxury on the Normandy, he would give me something real to shoot at.
I have no doubt that piqued your interest.
Yes. Yes.
He still has his armor. Makes you wonder if there's anything we can glean from that armor that could be useful for the rest of the galaxy. But maybe not. When he was fighting, they had to have been using everything haphazard. Everything was probably hand-me-down. Jesus. Hand-me-down armor that's as good as the stuff we have.
I wish Gavin could be here to see all this.
Yeah.
Nothing to report.
You and me both. Allers, is there anything you got to say?
Hey, it's just an opinion piece. You don't like it? Don't download it.
You're saying we don't need Terra Nova.
Lose 1 colony, save 5. That's the math.
You know what the commander did for us? The colony?
Yes. I was on a little thing called the news.
You think you can fly on this ship, sit next to us at chow time, and then broadcast something like that? That's traitorous.
Hey, it's just an opinion piece. You don't like it? Don't download it.
You're saying we don't need
cannot remember which one I went with. I want to see what both choices are.
1 colony, save 5.
To an extent, she ain't wrong. But again, that's exactly what the Protheans did. And then they let survivors from these colonies, from these other places, these places that they didn't know had people escape into their civilizations, and then come to find out, oh, they're indoctrinated.
That's the math.
Let's see what she says.
Stand down, Yeoman. She's allowed to voice her opinion until I disallow it.
Aye, aye, Commander. But how does she get to say whatever she wants to the whole galaxy and there's no other side?
I'll be clear that the opinion expressed is just my own.
Well, okay. It's not great, but okay.
That's one. Let's see what the other says. I do not remember which one I went with. I think I went with her choice.
Lose the peace or lose your spot on this ship, Allers.
This is exactly what I was afraid of.
Thanks, Commander. What's your choice, Allers? Like you said, it's just your opinion, right?
I'll pull it.
Yeah, I went with her choice. It's uncomfortable. I don't agree with it, but it's her opinion. News is news, like it or not.
Stand down, Yeoman. She's allowed to voice her opinion until I disallow it.
Aye, aye, Commander. But how does she get to say whatever she wants to the whole galaxy and there's no other side?
I'll be clear that the opinion expressed is just my own.
Well, okay. It's not great, but okay.
Yeah, it ain't great. And in truth, it is extremely risky. But she has the right to say it. Want to be real careful with the things we do let leak from this ship, though, especially when it comes to stuff like that. Yeah, well, odds are they, and the thing is, like as I think about it, odds are they know she's on the Normandy, so it's like, Well, she's there. She's on the front lines. Maybe her perspective matters.
Shepard, thanks again for being there at the Refugee Memorial. I feel better. Everything's so much clearer now.
Glad I could help.
Yeah, man. Glad I could help.
Sir Kesh certainly offered me a new experience.
What do you mean?
Normally, I'm not one to fly co-pilot, but when an 800-pound Krogan requests to take control of your shuttle, you comply.
Probably wise.
Yeah. Especially in them kind of close quarters.
Is everything okay, Shepard?
Yeah, we're groovy.
Wonder what the hell Cerberus was up to on Sir Kesh.
Yeah.
I hear we're headed to Tuchanka. Would love to see how things turn out. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Rex is a badass. I bet he's got some real interesting stories to tell.
I have no doubt he does. He's told us a few.
More than something else. His mouth moves faster than a frog on a hot rock in the middle of summer.
Yes, it does. Not to mention the fact that he loves reminding us all that Asari Vorcha offspring have an allergy to dairy.
Hey.
Alright. 36 G's. I will... Where's that pistol? Scorpion. Excuse me. Oh god, finally done. Okay, I'm gonna have to find a way to mitigate all of this time eating when it comes to the ship, because this is wild. And I mean, on the one hand, it makes sense to start the episodes with this kind of stuff, but on the other hand, it makes sense to kind of end it with some of it too.
The Krogan and the Turians really should get behind the Alliance. They've got so much in common, like shooting things and not wanting to die. And no, that's about it.
Yeah, very sensible, isn't it? But apparently not.
So, bringing the Krogan to a war summit went well? You want me to invite the Batarians too, or the Vorcha?
Building alliances is the only way we stand a chance against the Reapers.
Yeah, but the Krogan? I'd feel better if we had a tighter plan, like time travel or teaching the Reapers to love. Still, good to have Mordin back. The bad guys shouldn't get the monopoly on mad scientists.
Well said. Especially on that last count.
Commander?
It is good you came by. I have questions about the genophage.
Uh-oh.
You and everyone else.
What do you need, Edie?
A Krogan female of breeding age can produce clutches of up to 1,000 fertilized eggs over the course of a year. There are over 1 billion females on Tuchanka. If even 1% become fully fertile, they can birth 10 billion infants.
On Earth, bugs have a lot of young too. Most of them die.
The attrition rate would naturally be high, but the state has an interest in keeping the children alive for warfare purposes.
Any other cheerful thoughts?
Logistics. Even were they to side with us, transporting the Krogan to the battlefields of Palaven could prove difficult. They have been demilitarized. That is, they have no warships.
What do you suggest?
They will need Turian or civilian starships to carry them to battle. With your permission, I will make the necessary calls to have these ships in place for when you deliver the Krogan.
Do it. Anything else?
Food. They will be unable to eat anything on Palaven. They must bring their own or rely on the nutrients in their humps.
This keeps getting better and better.
The Krogan will also require sedatives, since Krogan fight with others of their kind in enclosed spaces such as starships.
Make it happen. Are there any last things you're worried about?
Nothing that demands your attention, Shepard.
Yeah, that means yes, but you seem to not be in the mood.
Mordin sent me a nicely crafted message. It seems he recalls our conversations about the Solarian equivalent of transhumans.
If I could, I'd stop you right...
Transhumans have some of their brain's abilities, such as memory, supplemented or entirely replaced by cybernetics. Legal definitions vary from planet to planet. The Solarians embrace the concept. Humans have diverse and contentious opinions.
No.
My implants make me a transhuman?
That would be telling.
What?
I'm sorry. That was a joke.
You are fully human. Cerberus extensively reconstructed you, but your brain functions are organic.
Don't ever do that again.
Real talk. Yeah, you need to start learning that there are such a thing as jokes and bad taste. And that was right at the top of the list.
Hello, Shepard.
Right at the top of the list. Regardless of your answer, now you got this man sweating. And then it's like, did you just give me that answer because it's true or to make me feel better?
Commander, I've set up a secure communications with the Turian and Solarian governments and added their combat data to our boards. Hopefully
Thank
it'll
you.
give us some idea of what's going on. Commander?
Good, okay. I'm like, is there anything else? An hour plus in conversation. Ship wide. Oh God. I forgot how much talking Mass Effect 3 had. It's just, it wants you to get at whatever it gives you immediately. And I understand why. It's just, Jesus. There's just so much.
Signal confirmed.
Malagon. Credits, I'll take.
Faster than light jump successful.
Almost caught me. Yep.
Evasion successful.
Okay, so this is the last place.
I found something.
Apparently. Also found a white star of blinding proportions. No, no, no. Parag. Alliance cruiser Nairobi.
Reapers eluded.
Why don't y'all follow that pulse? Stay in the system. Maybe it might be advantageous to you. Oh, that was a bad entry point.
Faster than light jump successful.
Okay, missing scouts. Cerberus presence. All right, I had to think about it. You know what? I'll go ahead and do that. Was thinking about doing the Aralite Company scout thing for the Rachni, but I'll hold off for now. Probably say that for the next episode.
Signal confirmed.
Rothia. Oh, no. Rothla, I guess. Yep, Rothla. Alright. And there's Liara's Shadow Broker squad. Stuck in Krogan space. Interesting. What were they doing over there?
I found something.
Damn.
Evasion successful. Reapers eluded.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's just fuel. And that was the only thing in the system. Goofy. But at least I know.
Faster than light jump successful.
Nith. Alright. Okay. Alrighty. No armor piercing, huh? Painful. Alright. Armor penetration for the shotgun. Okay, she comes with Incinerate, Overload, Defense Matrix. Reinforce armor with a protective focal currents. Purge the currents to restore shields. So that's her passive ability. Decoy distracts opponents with this decoy. Unshackled AI boosts power, damage, shields, barriers, and health. Yeah, we'll up her shields and health. That way we'll later get down the line and upgrade her squad tech, power, damage, and duration. Is that like I said, when it comes to your teammates, any upgrade that you give them that is a squad mate bonus, they receive the bonus as well as the teammates, including you. But if you have those bonuses, only they receive the bonuses, not you. It's ridiculous, but there it is. Weapon damage. Oh, alright, Vega, my bad. Hadn't been back to you since we were on Tuchanka. Weapon damage, power damage, squad mate health and shields. So now he's at 1025 on both stats. 750, 725, and 750. Now for reference, actually not getting that bonus. Nah, I guess we don't see it in here. That's alright. Impact radius of Carnage.
Shepard, Cerberus is landing forces away from the Tuchanka battlefields. Their target seems to be an ancient ground-to-space cannon facility that hasn't been used since the Krogan rebellions. The site has no obvious military advantage, and the Krogan are spread too thin to deal with it.
Do we know what Cerberus is up to?
No, but we do know that Cerberus doesn't act without a plan. Get in there.
God.
Find out what they're up to while you're at it.
We'll get it done.
See to it. Hack it out.
Well, considering I'm in my armor,
Say Cerberus got that cannon operational, Commander. I'll go back up, get a read on what they're shooting at.
Get on it.
since I'm in my armor, it stands to reason we're gonna try and figure out what they're actually doing and then stop them, right? Do we know what we're doing? What they're doing? No, but we know they don't do anything for no reason. Cool, great. That's not what I'm asking. And it's obvious I'm gonna stop them. That's the mission. Ugh.
Let's find the control room for those cannons. Kill anything in our way.
Right.
I believe what you mean to say is if they get in our way, destroy them.
Understood. At once.
Uh-huh.
Weird.
I have a visual on an inbound Cerberus cruiser. The cannon fire is clearing the way. If that ship makes it to bombardment range, the Krogan resistance is in trouble.
Keep track of it, Lieutenant.
On it.
And there it is. Nothing like a good rag doll.
At once. Doing it now.
Affirmative.
Too low. That's funny. No, we're not. We are content right here. Hidden and untouched. You missed it.
Control center secure. Then I think it's time to test this cannon.
One thing before I test this cannon. Where are you? There you are.
Not the kind of Krogan relic I expected to find.
They cut power to the console.
You need to get the power back up.
1 second, folks. Okay, folks, sorry about that. I know I probably just blue balled the hell out of y'all.
Let's move.
They're shuttling in reinforcements, fortifying their position.
Interesting. I don't think he took shield damage at all. Oh, that's funny. Wasn't even my target. Oh, we'll say hello to the Nemesis, member of Cerberus' group. Snipers, experts. Dead. I doubt I'm surviving this, but let's go.
Roger that.
Understood.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you know you better move. Okay. Eh. As I said in the first episode where we ended up having these Cerberus missions are all based on the multiplayer maps. So You folks end up wanting to get used to those. You got the sort of a preliminary chance with these Cerberus missions. Couldn't remember what all collectibles were left, but we're done here. Literally done here. All right.
Sure thing.
So Edie, how'd you like your grenades, your sticky grenade pistol? What? You did? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes.
So they had me, they jumped the gun with it, I guess? Even though I set that for it, I guess they didn't let me finish it. Oh, okay. Right. Huh.
I've rerouted the power to the main console. Heading back now.
Oh. Well, excuse me. There was more. Right. They're not done yet. Okay. I heard a turret. Oh. What's that? Forgot grenades do that. Uh-oh. Took his dome off. Yes, you can do that in this game. We'll go ahead and go through the front door for no reason. Out of cover. Burn. Electrocute. What? Bruh. Okay.
Yep.
That was weird. Alright, folks, let's go.
Commander, cruiser initiating bombardment.
Cannon control restored. Targeting enabled. Coordinates, Lieutenant.
Uploaded.
Firing.
Direct starboard hit, Commander. Target breaking up. Repeat, direct hit.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Good work, everyone.
Game.
Shepard, with those Krogan cannons operational, Cerberus has actually given us the advantage in that system. The enemy's pulling back, but we think they'll try to seize the facility again.
Seems likely.
I'm sending an Alliance team to keep it secure. They've got a foothold in a strong defensive position, thanks to you.
Glad to hear it.
Good work, Commander. Hack it out.
And there's that Cerberus operation. As I said, as he makes it a point to constantly state, he'll be sending teams to deal with that. Translation: multiplayer. Singularity maximum level. I could either expand the singularity field by 35% for 10 seconds or detonate singularity when the field dies automatically to inflict 525 damage across 5 meters. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll decrease the cooldown for pull. Might as well. Shadow Broker Wet Squad. As the new Shadow Broker, Liara Tassoni has loyalty of her predecessor's assassination squad. A small but lethal team of soldiers called on for the rare occasion when information isn't enough to silence a target. Their methods vary with each mission, from subtle poisonings to bombings and bombing entire buildings. The Wet Squad is dedicated to whatever range of destruction a new broker requires. Dr. Tassoni has put them to work against the Reapers and Cerberus. I want to say it's probably the Wet Squad that blew up that those 3 floors on Ilium in the last game before we got the chance to catch and stop the Shadow Broker. Alliance 3rd Fleet's update. SSV Nairobi is a top-of-the-line cruiser with the showroom finish of a ship just off the factory line. As it has never seen warfare, the Nairobi's officers have been running mock battles in preparation for real enemy contact. That lack of experience is a problem, but it also means that they're fresh. So is their ship. That works out in a lot of ways. Krogan. The Krogan clans have agreed to throw their considerable might against the Reapers. Their shock troops are aggressive, relentless, and recklessly brave. Krogan 1st Division. The Krogan 1st Division is a conglomerate of infantry and vehicles hastily organized into a single coalition force. The chain of command is divided by clan with representatives from each serving as officers. Despite ancient differences, fighting the Reapers together is building a spirit of camaraderie amongst the division's warriors. Krogan from different clans are starting to swap equipment, stories, and even the occasional barrel of Rincall. Yep. It all starts somewhere. Well, folks, that right there is going to be the end of episode 9 and its lengthy conversation detail, but because we dealt with all of that and then went straight to a Spec Ops mission, we shouldn't have to deal with all of that again, at least for a bit. So we should be able to just pretty much get right to it depending on what we're dealing with. But again, it's going to be the end of episode 9 of Mass Effect 3's Legendary Edition on the Xbox Series X, folks. If y'all like what you see and want to see more of me, just give me a like, follow, subscribe here on YouTube, both. Drop a comment, check out some of the other playlists, share around some of the other playlists, bang the bell. Follow the links to get from my Twitch to get to my Discord and my YouTube. Follow the links to my YouTube to get to my Twitch. And wherever you folks happen to be, have yourselves a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And God bless you.